Why? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button, subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. And yes, you have read the title of this video correctly. And no, I am not clickbaiting you or anything like that. There was an article out there about the Arizona Cardinals potentially can be a top landing spot for Jalen Ramsey. Yes, it's the truth. And if you guys do not believe me, we're going to read the article here. Now, it is from around the NFL, and we're going to be diving into this, pretty soon as to like exactly why they're saying this and like what's their reasoning. Because if you really think about it here, this absolutely makes no sense. And there's a reason why as to like the when Jalen Ramsey asked for a trade, there was nothing coming from me, right? Nothing coming from me saying, oh, yeah, the Cardinals need to go in on Jalen Ramsey. No, no way in heck. The only way I would even get close with the six, even a 12-foot pole from Jalen Ramsey if he gets released. That's the only way. And even then, there's a 12-foot pole. Yeah, I want nothing to do with Jalen Ramsey. But I'm curious to figure out what obviously the NFL has to say. There's an article published out there about potential landing spots here for Jalen Ramsey, which is an all-pro cornerback. But like I mentioned in my intro, why? There's absolutely no reason as to why. So let's dive into it, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, this is the truth, right? This is what the title of the video is, or the title of this article. Jalen Ramsey landing spots. Which team could trade for seven-time Pro Bowl cornerback. Now, obviously, they list a few different teams out there. They got the Baltimore Ravens. They also do mention that the Rams are in play, and I think he's most likely going to be a Ram more than anything. Now, I do believe his trade value actually does take a hit because obviously we went through the draft already, so any other trade value needs to be in 2026. Like, I think it's going to be most likely be a Ram, but I'm kind of curious to figure out exactly like what they're saying about the Arizona Cardinals, right? So they got the Ravens, they got the Bucks, they got us, they got the Raiders, well, I mean, he's already in the Dolphins, so I don't okay. So let's take a look here to see what they're saying about the Arizona Cardinals and then we're going to be talking about where the Cardinals are at right now in terms of cap space, and we're going to be talking about who I think we should actually be putting our effort and attention into, other than this crazy debacle. But I'm just curious to figure out what they're trying to say here. So, per this article, Arizona has spent lavishly this offseason, adding the likes of Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, and Dalvin Tomlinson, plus drafting defensive tackle Walter Nolan at 16 last week. To its roster with the hope that the new acquisitions will help Jonathan Gannon's defense propel the Cardinals to a legitimate playoff run. With $32 million in cap space still available to use in 2025, Arizona has the financial flexibility to bring in more recognizable names. What better way to elevate this formerly anonymous unit to a higher level than by acquiring Ramsey, a seven-time Pro Bowler who will fit in the opposite Sean Murphy Bunting and add depth to the young secondary. Trading for Ramsey would signal that the Cardinals are serious about contending in 2025, a crucial season for Gannon, who is entering his third year campaign as a coach in a division that includes the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers. It's worth exploring. So, like I said, right, this is a real article. This is definitely something that was put out in the world of the internet, and I wanted to kind of react to it together. Now, it's kind of funny because they're saying we should pair Jalen Ramsey opposite side of Sean Murphy Bunting. Do they not know we want to get rid of Sean Murphy Bunting? Like, the Cardinal fans are not the biggest fan of Sean Murphy Bunting. Like, we're actually obviously really excited about Will Johnson. We're excited about year 3 of Garrett Williams. We're excited about Sterling Thomas the fifth. We're excited about Max Melton going into his year 2. Elijah Jones, which is the 3rd-round pick last year. We got a young, talented core right now in the cornerback group, and we don't want Sean Murphy Bunting to be a starter in this Arizona Cardinal defense. So this is absolutely weird, and it's one of those things where I get it. Sometimes it's hard to cover all 32 teams. You need to be dialed into a specific team to figure out the true needs for that team. And I think that's one of the main reasons why content creators have completely skyrocketed, because they truly do want their team to succeed and they truly do know what the needs of the Arizona Cardinals or their respective teams is, right? So, in my opinion, no, I am not touching Jalen Ramsey trading for him, and I'm still not going from him even if he gets released. Now, if he gets released, I guess we'll at least consider it. But nah, man, give me this young core that we have with Will Johnson, Max Melton, and all the other young guys that we got on this core. I would rather go into 2025 with those guys as opposed to trading away some sort of asset and using more cap space for kind of nothing at the end of the day. Now, I did mention I want to put more attention into free agents that are currently available right now. Now, one thing that this article did say is the truth. The Cardinals right now do have about $32 million in cap space, and per over the cap right now, they have it slated at $32.1 million in available cap for the Arizona Cardinals to use. There is much more important positions the Arizona Cardinals should put their efforts and attention into. Now, this is not coming from the Arizona Cardinals organization saying, oh, we need to go for Jalen. No, they're not saying that. This is an article here from NFL.com, which is a guy that obviously writes for them. And he just kind of came out with a list of 3 or 4 or 5 different teams that could potentially trade for him, right? And they also mentioned, like, oh, if we really want to be serious contenders, we got to go after Jalen Ramsey, a big name out there. Nah, that's not the way we do things here under Monty Ossenfort. But let's dive into the top available free agents right now. Honestly, we mentioned this in multiple different videos. The main concern that I have with the Cardinals heading into the 2025 season is 2 positions on the offensive side of the ball. Honestly, it's so crazy. It's a complete 180 that the Cardinals now so in 2024, my biggest concern was the defense, right? Now it kind of flipped it on its ear, and now my concern is the Arizona Cardinals offense heading into 2025. Now, if you guys do not know, one guy that I really would have loved the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go after is Elijah Moore, former Jet, former Brown, but he ended up meeting with the Buffalo Bills, a week back, and there was rumor, or actually no, there was a report that came out about 3 or 4 days ago that he ended up signing with the Bills after all. So good for him. Hopefully he has nothing but success and he revives his career because I do think he's a really solid wide receiver. So that does not leave a lot of options left available for the Arizona Cardinals for the available guys that are available in free agency. So one of the big guys are going to be Amari Cooper, but he's still 30. Like he's right now, he's 31 years old, so he's aging, and he didn't do very much with Josh Allen. So I don't know if the Arizona Cardinals are even considering that route. But I'm not going to lie to you, a savvy veteran to potentially at least be somebody to teach these younger guys how to be a pro is, I feel like there's some benefits to that, but I really wouldn't want to see Amari Cooper take any reps away from Michael Wilson or obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. There's that, and then there's also Keenan Allen. Now he's 33 years old, so he's actually 2 years older than Amari Cooper right now, and I still do think he's got a little bit of tread left in the tire for Keenan Allen, but it's going to be kind of the same concept as the Cardinals are probably going to bring in this guys for the idea that, hey, you're going to be a veteran more than anything, right? You're going to teach these young guys how to be a pro, maybe kind of show them what you're seeing, something that, especially in real time. So kind of have another coach on the sidelines, but a player that has been doing it for years and years and years. I feel like there is some benefits from doing something like that with either bringing in a Keenan Allen or maybe an Amari Cooper. Do I feel like the Cardinals are going to do it? Probably not. We made a lot of moves in this offseason. Now, they're not big splashy moves in the wide receiving core, but I feel like they're confident with the top 2 wide receivers they got right now with Marvin Harrison Jr. as well as Michael Wilson, and of course Trey McBride being your number 1 pass catcher and your best tight end in the NFL, or at least one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Now, if the Cardinals don't go any direction or they don't do anything else, maybe the Cardinals give Xavier Weaver an opportunity to really fight for a spot. If it's not going to be him, it's probably going to be a tie between Greg Dortch or Zay Jones. That's going to be that number 3 wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, another spot that I'm kind of a little, I guess, concerned with is going to be that right guard position where Will Hernandez once was there. He got hurt. Cardinals didn't re-sign him back. There is some kind of rumors out there that the Cardinals might bring him back for obviously familiarity, and when he was here he was actually pretty darn solid, but he has dealt with injuries since he's been a Cardinal. So there's either Will Hernandez, the Cardinals could potentially bring back, or even was it Brandon Sheriff, former Jaguar. He's 33 years old as well, but I do believe he's still available right now as a potential guard. But like I said before, I think the Cardinals are probably most likely going to be running with Isaiah Adams. If I'm going to put my best guesstimation out there right now, I think Isaiah Adams is going to be your right guard for 2025. And I think they have the confidence that he is going to, take that next step. And, it's a little better to kind of go that route because they're much cheaper as opposed to going in for a veteran on a 1 year deal. But like I said, we do got $32 million. So are the Cardinals going to go in on bringing in another veteran? We don't have very many holes on this roster, believe it or not. Like we don't have very many. Two of them that are very, very, glaring, that wide receiver number three position, as well as the guard on the right hand side. Those are the biggest needs I feel like the Arizona Cardinals can definitely tackle. But they did also end up bringing in Hayden Connor out of Texas in a late round pick this last year in the draft. So maybe the Cardinals have a little bit more high upside on him. So as of right now, hearing what I've heard about Jalen Ramsey, nah, like I said before, I want to be very, very clear. I am not touching Jalen Ramsey at all. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals can benefit from going any which direction, but not that direction, right? Especially with the young cornerbacks that we currently have right now. I feel like we are in a much better position just to kind of you know, run it with who we have right now. But that's my opinion in this whole situation. Let me know what your guys' overall thoughts on would you want to add Jalen Ramsey in an Arizona Cardinal uniform? Let me know here in the comments below. I do believe he's actually going to be a Ram, to be honest with you. So I think he's going to come to the NFC West. It's just not on the Cardinals. But let me know in the chat below. What are your overall thoughts on this article that was published here? Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.